One of our commenters said he went to Scotland, he went to Cragganmore, and their sign that said East Deliveries here was right next to a porta potty. Are you ready?
I am ready.
What are we ready for?
So here's the thing. Starting to feel a little bad.
Yeah? About what you've put me through?
A little bit. So this episode I'm gonna take it easy on.
All right, thank you.
Just a nice little low key. This time I wanted us to basically focus on some whiskey knowledge.
Oh, my wheelhouse.
And not so much whiskey antics.
Sorry guys.
There may be a microscopic antic at the end.
Okay.
But
what are we doing first?
Glasses.
Glasses.
Because people ask us about glasses all the time.
Well, here's the whiskey I chose for today.
And the handful of times that we've talked about the glasses, it's always just like in a general, vague reference to, you know, get a good one.
Right.
And then drink whiskey. So we're going to test out a bunch of glasses and figure out what's the ideal kind of glass
for a whiskey.
For a whiskey.
Now, this is Brimstone. And Brimstone is a whiskey that will, like, stare you directly in the eye while getting you with a knife.
I feel like you picked this out before you understood I'm going easy on you this time.
Yeah, I know, right?
So this is how you stick it
This is how I get revenge. No, Brimstone's hardcore, man. So, first things first, shape of a glass, and we've talked about this. The whole point of a glass is to retain some of the essence of the whiskey so it doesn't just fly out to the top of the glass. And that's why big, wide open glassware is not the best for really understanding a whiskey, because all the vapors just go straight past your head.
Right.
Think of it like this. You pour champagne in a really narrow glass simply because you want to keep... I know, right?
No,
you want to keep the bubbles, the carbonation in there longer. First things first, just go for a nose for all of them. So it doesn't really punch you in the face on this one compared to like that one. That one's going to focus everything in the glass. Oh, okay.
Are we looking
that one, it just vanishes, man. There's nothing in here.
Are we looking for intensity?
We're looking for trying to get as much as you can out of the whiskey as opposed to feeling like most of it's going past you. Ooh, this one's interesting. So far, this smells the most different of the whole lineup. So these two side by side, they're not the same whiskey. So when you're doing glassware, I like to say use all of them until you find the glassware that, to you, shows you the most.
I'm getting more sweetness out of this.
I know.
And I'm getting more gasoline
Yeah, that's because all of the alcohol evaporation is getting punched up. Oh, and the Skull shot glass, it just smells like only alcohol. Okay, hands down, the Glencairn truly captures this whiskey the best. Second best is this.
So what I'm thinking is there's a handful of things happening here. You have the opening, and then you have the depth at which the whiskey sits.
Yes, and you've got the cavity that the alcohol vapors can sort of step aside into.
So whenever it's a really big wide cavity,
like paper.
Whenever it's a really big wide cavity and a relatively
narrow
small opening, then the alcohol, I'm assuming, is sitting down here. And then it lets the flavors come up here.
Now that would work really well with this if this glass ended with an opening about half this size. Yeah, now this tries to solve the problem by the length, giving time for the whiskey to air before it gets to your nose. The Glencairn gives you a little bit of space, but then you're right on it. And then this, just all the vapors go straight at the top. You barely are going to get anything. All right, I'm going to start in order of least flavorful. And now we already figured out we can tame the nose by just opening up the top of the glass. Dude, that's sweeter. I'm going to work my way back. So we're going to do wine glass next. Wow, this starts to smell fruity. So now I'm getting like dark plum notes all of a sudden. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
We let it air a little bit in this glass, and it got really kind of plum-esque. This is 53% alcohol, so keep that in mind.
Pick out your top 4, and then we'll go into the test.
Norland, Dragon, Spug, Howe, and...
I agree, except for this whiskey, I would say that.
Okay, fair enough.
For this whiskey, I would say that.
I actually, that changed things dramatically enough for me to include that too.
Okay.
It was for me between those two.
So, what other types of things are we looking for in a whiskey glass?
What we're looking for, does it warm the glass? Because when you have something that's 45 or 40% alcohol, heating it up is going to evaporate all the alcohol really quickly.
Right. The category we're talking about is temperature control.
Yeah. And so that's why you don't, manhandle your Glencairn. You can actually hold the Glencairn towards the edge of the base. You're not warming your glass up. A stem is nice. This is just, you hold it all at the top. This is an uncomfortable glass to hold. Now, they they designed the Norland specifically for this reason.
Yeah.
You can hold your glass and your skin never comes in contact with the glass layer holding the whiskey.
So temperature control.
Yep.
I think it's pretty obvious which the best one is. The Norland is
Norland
made,
wins on temperature.
I mean, like the entire novelty of the thing is temperature control.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very light. I think it's lighter than what people are expecting.
Yeah, I'm still not a fan of the sippy cup edge.
Yeah, it's like
but that'll be a different category. Temperature, this is first.
Right.
For temperature, I mean, if all we're talking about is temperature, you got the stem. Glencairn.
And then
next one would be, how does it feel to hold it and drink out of it?
So we've gone from the nose to temperature control to ergonomics.
Ergonomics. Now, I think nothing beats the Glencairn for ergonomics.
You think?
Probably from sheer habit.
Yeah, I think it's
now,
what we're so used to.
And it's because this is beautiful and this is art.
Right.
Right? But
the lip.
You happen to meet somebody who has a peculiar, complicated history with the way things feel. And I really don't like the fat lip edge of the Norland. It turns me off on the whole glass. I don't like this. This is just, I don't, you know, come on, we're drinking whiskey.
So
this is just
ergonomics.
That sucks.
The novelty of it sitting on a table looking like it's going to spill.
That's the only thing it excels at.
And it beats these other paper cup.
And it definitely changes the smell.
It does change the smell.
Which is bizarre. Okay. And that's not necessarily a good or bad thing. It just is.
Okay, so.
All right. We did flavor. We did temperature.
Control.
We did ergonomics.
Right. The last thing.
Oh, we got a fourth.
Yeah.
What's the fourth?
The last thing, because the nightmare scenario is you're hanging out with a bunch of people, glass falls off the table, and it breaks, and you're the asshole that broke a glass. Party foul. So I think we should do durability.
Oh, okay.
And we'll do a drop test.
All right.
So this is 28.5 inches, standard table height.
Standard. It's standard.
Right. So we're sitting here with which glass?
You're sitting here with a wine glass because you're at a dinner where they only brought wine out, but you brought a flask. And so as soon as you're finished with your wine, you sort of rinse it with water, and then you sort of, under the table, you pour some whiskey into it and put it back on the table. And that's why you're drinking whiskey in a wine glass.
So, blah, blah, blah. I'm the life of the party. I'm telling wonderful stories.
You make a hand gesture.
And then, okay. I didn't do so hot.
You know, I heard a bounce, though.
There was at least a bounce. It gave me a bounce.
All right, so that's all that's left.
Wine glass.
So wine glass, not that durable.
Okay. So what's next?
So dragon.
Dragon. Okay, so again, talking.
Oh, that's a really cool glass.
I have so many
Great story, Rex.
Dude, I thought that was going to do so much better.
I know.
Wow.
I think it was more brittle. It just went into a bunch of tiny pieces.
That looked beefy.
All right, are we Glencairning next? And you're like, yes, yes. You drinking out of your ridiculous wine glass.
And I tell a sad story.
Yeah.
Because you got to mix it up.
And you make a sad gesture.
And then...
Did it survive? Ooh. Oh, shit! Oh, dude.
All right.
So, oh, dude.
We have a contender.
Holy cow!
For the champion. Is this
that was pretty fair.
All right. So the last one.
The last one is the Norland.
This is a new player. Blah blah blah.
Blah blah. Funny story.
Poignant, deep epiphany.
Oh, deep epiphany because you're at an artist table.
That just got really screwed.
That shattered like the
But the interior...
You know what this is like? This is like a race car. The exterior is meant to take the brunt of the force to protect the passenger.
They designed a roll cage. You know, a strong front runner, but he's not completely down and out. We should do one last test.
Oh, with what?
Well...
Oh, no.
Did you ever hear... I think it was Robin Hood. He put an apple on Maid Marian's head.
Oh, and he was like, hey, can you knock?
And then he shot it off. Basically, I want...
William Tell put an apple on his son's head.
This is the William Tell test.
Oh, the one... Oh, no.
Accuracy is the final test.
You're going to pour it into a glass while I'm balancing it?
No, I'm going to shoot it off your head.
No gunpowder.
No gunpowder.
No gunpowder.
So we're left with pitiful.
BB, pellet,
Done.
and Nerf. No, or Nerf. Pellet.
All right, accuracy test with a pellet gun.
There was this time when I had 2 eyes and depth perception. And I just remember really liking that.
But really, what do you use that for?
There's gonna be a clause that if you kill me during a Whiskey Biscuits episode, you lose the whole company. Yeah.
All right, you got your fancy do-rag for safety. There we go. Get your,
All right, you ready?
Oh, I can hit that.
Any other questions?
Dude, I can nail the crap out of that. You have nothing to be concerned about. All right, so let's see here. Let's see.
A little farther.
Right about here. I think. Oh yeah, all day. You got the protection you need?
Yeah.
Is it stable?
Yep.
You feeling good?
All good.
Feeling confident?
No.
All right, relax. I didn't actually shoot something off of Daniel's head from like 30 or 40 feet away. There are a couple of giveaways. One moment there's whiskey in the glass, and in the next moment there's not. And then I'll show you what actually happened immediately after this clip. The main thing is, I was trying really hard to troll Daniel to get him to like completely bail. The thing is, he's game for anything. So he thought I was gonna shoot something off his head from like a considerable distance, and eventually I had to cry uncle, and this is what actually happened.
And am I in the shot or out of the shot?
Out of the shot.
Okay.
Well, I mean, your gun's in the shot.
Daniel, I'm like 5 inches above your head. You ready?
Your gun's in the shot.
No, I need the gun to be out of the shot.
Okay, well, that's in the shot.
Okay, what about now?
Just got out of it.
All right, you ready?
Mm-hmm.
3, 2.
And for the record, if I wanted to make that shot, I totally could.
No, it was 1 shot. I'm calling Tommy. I'll be nice this time. Hey, so there's that etched glassware on my desk. Hey, Tommy, one more thing. Still there? Tommy!